Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley.
And I'm Dennis Bragg. Frenchtown music teacher Troy Basher says he's innocent against charges of sexual assault in his first court appearance today.
MTN's Kent Lutzen was in the courtroom in Missoula and brings us more on the story. Kent.
Jill, Dennis, Troy Basher pleaded not guilty to a misdemeanor sexual assault charge this afternoon in Missoula Justice Court. The Frenchtown music teacher is being charged for allegedly fondling and attempting to kiss one of his 16-year-old female students back in December of last year. In court today, the judge said Basher will remain out on his own with no bail set. However, his conditions of release are as follows. Basher will not be allowed on Frenchtown school property for the duration of this case. He cannot have contact with the alleged victim or any witnesses. All communication must go through Basher's attorney. And he is not allowed any contact with minors except for family members, something prosecutors are concerned about.
As far as his contact with minors, if the only minor he is going to have contact with is a family member, I don't have an issue with that, except for that I think that monitoring that is going to be difficult, right? The only people that are going to know that are his family. So I don't object to the condition, although I expressed some reservation about the ability to enforce it.
Despite the allegations, many Frenchtown students and parents stand with Basher and believe he is innocent. If found guilty, Basher faces 6 months in jail and or a $500 fine. Jill, Dennis.
All right, Kent, thank you. Basher's next court appearance is slated for January. In court today in the Bitterroot, former Florence doctor Chris Christensen took the stand to talk about a long list of accusations against him.
MTN's Augusta McDonald shows us how Christensen sparred with prosecutors in Ravalli County.
11 of Christensen's former patients are involved in the charges that are being brought against him. 2 of them are now dead, and some of them have testified against him over the past 3 weeks. But as Christensen himself took the stand early this week, his version of events did not always agree with theirs.
Defense attorney Josh Vanderwettering and prosecutors both questioned Christensen about each individual patient in this case. Christensen says his patients had complicated personal lives, living with physical and psychological pain with limited ability to pay. Prosecutor Thorin Geist spent the afternoon going through complaints about Christensen's medical charts and prescription practices from Idaho and California to those he's currently facing in Montana.
It would be inappropriate to prescribe 1,000 methadone every 14 days, right?
I disagree with the statement that my prescribing of that amount of medication for that patient under the circumstances was inappropriate.
Christensen says he was trained to trust his patients at their word until he was given a reason not to.
Reporting in Hamilton, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
Now, that trial will continue on Thursday, and prosecutors say they expect to wrap up their questioning this week.
Lake County authorities will not file charges against a man questioned for a fatal shooting in Pablo. 28-year-old Ryan Black had been questioned by authorities after the deadly shooting in September that took the life of 34-year-old Johnny McKeever. Investigators had said McKeever went to Black's house to confront his estranged wife about her relationship with Black. Deputies learned Black came to the door with a .44 Magnum pistol. The gun went off as the two men scuffled, killing McKeever. Lake County Attorney Steve Eschenbacher says the state cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Black wasn't acting in self-defense. We had a nice day out there for western Montana. More sun tomorrow, but more changes are on the way as well. Let's take a break and head on over to Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost for a look at our first forecast. Aaron.
Bit of a roller coaster here over the next few days across the northern Rockies. Today, noticing those decreasing clouds this evening and definitely drier conditions that will continue into much of your Wednesday. Although by Wednesday night, we've got our next system headed our way. Take a look at downtown Hamilton today. First Security Bank ICAM. You can see those clouds continue to break up across the state, and that will lead us to perhaps some patchy morning fog tomorrow, but a pretty nice day. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay put for long. As I mentioned, that next system starts to move in pretty quickly. All those details on what we can expect coming up shortly.
As KPAX first reported last night at 10, Mineral County Sheriff Tom Bauer quit just hours before a jail committee made recommendations to the county commissioners to reopen that closed jail. This all happened yesterday. Now that Mineral County is without a jail and a sheriff and one less position on the jail committee, what happens next? Well, Mineral County Commissioner Roman Zalawi says because of a Montana statute, the undersheriff will be assuming the sheriff's responsibilities until commissioners appoint a new sheriff. Zalawi says commissioners are waiting to see if anybody else comes forward for the job. If not, the current undersheriff, Mike Boone, will be appointed until the end of Bauer's term, which will be for another year. Once the position is filled, the new sheriff will pick from a pool of deputies to fill the undersheriff's responsibilities.
Fire investigators say there's nothing suspicious about the fire which destroyed a Libby mill last week. Libby Mayor Brent Teske tells us that investigators believe the November 5th fire at SK Finger Joint started in a blower used for the ventilation system at the mill. Investigators believe it was sawdust in the blower's electric motor, which probably started that fire. There's a fairly common source of fires in wood products mills. SK Finger Joint employed about 30 people and was the last remaining wood manufacturing plant in Libby. Mayor Teske says they are waiting to see what the owner plans to do with the property, but they're hoping the mill can be rebuilt to keep Libby's forest products business viable. Montana's special session of the legislature to address the $227 million budget shortfall is underway in Helena. As expected, majority Republicans added a half dozen items to the agenda as options for balancing the budget. Those include extending the state's health insurance premium tax to a pair of smaller nonprofit companies and consideration of the offer from a private prison company of $32 million to help offset any potential tax increase. Governor Bullock also made a somewhat unexpected move today, announcing he would immediately put into place the $76 million in spending cuts that he considers part of any budget deal. As for the rest, if lawmakers and the governors can't come to a consensus tomorrow, the special session could extend to Thursday.
While the governor had to cancel due to the special session going on in Helena, the rest of the Libby community gathered this morning at the high school for a ceremony sending the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree on its way to Washington, D.C.
MTN's Nicole Miller was there with the rest of the elves and has more on the ceremony.
In Libby, it was a community send-off, Big Sky style, for the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree.
That's real special, we're not only just sending a tree to the nation's capital, we're sending, part of Libby and Lincoln County along with it.
Mayor Brent Teske says it's an honor to see the community send the nation's Christmas tree on its way to Washington, D.C. from the Kootenai National Forest.
This is the second time that the Kootenai National Forest has had the tree, and it's also about the fourth time that the tree has come from the state of Montana.
The event was hosted by the Libby Chamber of Commerce, who tell me putting on an event of this size takes the entire community.
We were excited to be a part of this Christmas tree event. It's a really big deal for our small town. We had a lot of people here, which shows you how much pride we have in our logging industry and the trees from our Kootenai National Forest.
First tree, I believe, went out of here in 1959. I wasn't even born. The second one was 1989. I was gone to the military, so this is the first one I've ever got to participate in, so it's special for me too.
Reporting in Libby, Nicole Miller, MTN News.
And of course, the tree is all wrapped up in that trailer, so it'll arrive at the White House fresh. All of the ornaments have to come from Montana as well. Libby was tasked with making about 9,000 of those, but everybody across Montana pitched in, and they're sending a little more than 13,000 to decorate the tree.
Well, the rivalry between the Grizzlies and Bobcats extends far beyond the football field. Sometimes it is a bloody battle. About 50 people donated blood at the University of Montana campus today as part of the UM Blood Battle. This annual two-day event is a friendly challenge with Montana State University as part of a Red Cross blood drive. The Red Cross says 80% of donations come through blood drives. 20% of those come from high school or university events. As always, the goal is to use this competition as a means to spur students into beating their rivals and meet the constant Red Cross need for blood.
We pit UM versus MSU to see who can collect the most units of blood. I think we look for any excuse to beat the Cats on or off the field. So it's a great opportunity for people to donate for the first time, and it really helps us gear up for the winter time.
The Red Cross is encouraging students to schedule an appointment for a donation tomorrow. The hours are from 10 a.m. to 4:30 at the UC Ballroom.
Coming up next, Aaron is back with some changes in the extended forecast.
And later, we'll take a look at some national news, including a gunman who went on a rampage in rural Northern California. He is dead by the police. We'll have an update on the investigation still ahead.